Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing, all the way from Gdansk in Poland. Let's talk about a fight that's coming up. I think people have, in some respects, overlooked this fight. Quite simply because on Saturday we've got Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. But lest we forget, on Sunday we have a fantastic fight from Nagoya in Japan between the monster NAOYA INOUE and the highly fancied Murodjon Akhmadaliev. Akhmadaliev has been beaten once. He lost a close decision to Marlon Tapales, who went on to fight INOUE and got knocked out. Akhmadaliev is currently 14 wins with 11 KOs, 1 defeat to Tapales, no draws. Do I even need to mention NAOYA INOUE? Certainly one of the top 3 pound-for-pounders in this modern era. Fantastic fighter, has been twice undisputed champion at super bantamweight, which he currently is, and also bantamweight. He won light flyweight belt, super flyweight belts, made lots of defenses. Even though he's still fighting, and I don't like jumping the gun, and so if someone's still active, you let them finish their career and then judge them historically once their career is over. But it is difficult, very, very difficult, not to see NAOYA INOUE as the greatest fighter Japan's ever produced, with all due respect to fighting Harada, who himself was great. But he takes on Akhmadaliev for all the marbles at super bantamweight, and if he beats him, he'll go on to bigger and better things. He's talked about fighting Nakatani, who might move up from bantam, and another brilliant Japanese fighter. Japanese boxing is in having this sort of enormous, just a historically a fantastic era, a brilliant era. They're stuffed with talent, at the lower weight divisions. These Japanese boxing is, and NAOYA is leading the way, but he's not by no means the only great Japanese fighter. I think Junto Nakatani will also end up in the Hall of Fame. Just from what he's achieved so far, he's been magnificent. But then, if he beats Nakatani, INOUE has talked about jumping up to featherweight, which is, he says, his ceiling, his last division. And you've got people like Nick Ball who are waiting to take him on. I mean, it's I think anything beyond featherweight is fanciful for a man who started at light flyweight. But INOUE now I think he's 32 years old now. He has been floored a couple of times in recent fights. He's 30 wins with 27 KOs, no draws, no defeats. But the knockdowns have come quite recently. He had a fantastic fight with a remarkably game Raymond Cardenas, who put INOUE on the floor, and it was a very good knockdown. It was a heavy knockdown. He got up to stop Cardenas. Cardenas was a late replacement, but nevertheless, he really gave everything. But INOUE just had too much of everything for him. And of course, Luis Nery put INOUE on the floor in the first round before getting absolutely starched himself. And that was in 6 rounds. The Cardenas fight, I think, ended in the 8th. So INOUE, even though he's been on the floor at this higher weight, this super bantamweight, there are little shoots of hope, I suppose, for the opponents. But quite frankly, they're just going to have to fight the fight of their lives. And maybe INOUE will have to come down a little bit, have maybe an off day. And if anyone can do it, although he did lose to Tapales, a close competitive fight that some people thought he won, nevertheless, Murodjon Akhmadaliev is not a complete no-hoper against INOUE. Far from it. He has 11 KOs in 14 wins. He is 30 years of age, so a couple of years younger than INOUE. He's from Uzbekistan, but I think I've got an idea he's based in the US and has been for some time. Last time out, he fought Luis Castillo, got rid of him in 8 rounds. Of course, watching that fight, you're trying to imagine INOUE in there with Akhmadaliev. Akhmadaliev, very aggressive, hits hard, but there are gaps in the defence. any fighter that fights in a very cavalier, front-footed, highly aggressive manner is going to leave gaps. And you're thinking, INOUE, if that was INOUE in there instead of Castillo, what would have happened? I think INOUE would have knocked him out, to be honest with you. He did score a 3-round KO over Ricardo Espinosa. A bit of a facile win, really, not really an important win. But Eddie Hearn, who promotes Akhmadaliev, is doing his promotional thing. You can't blame him for that. He's shouting and screaming from the rooftops that Akhmadaliev is going to knock out INOUE. That's what promoters and managers and teams do. And it is possible that Akhmadaliev can punch between the highly aggressive INOUE. When I say highly aggressive, INOUE is extremely technically astute. If you look at his footwork is amazing, exemplary. But he's a come-forward guy, and if Akhmadaliev can fire shots between the offense of INOUE, it is possible he can catch him, it's possible he can put him over, it's possible he can stop him. Now, this fight is in Japan, okay? And although the Japanese, if you look at the scorecards in Japanese fights, they're almost always very fair. I can't remember looking at watching a Japanese fight, they're looking at the scorecards and thinking, that's dodgy, that's wrong. No. The Japanese seem to be an honourable boxing nation, which kind of fits in with their overall culture. So I don't think that the southpaw Akhmadaliev is going to have trouble with the cards, but I do think he's going to have to. I think the problem will be staving off INOUE as INOUE goes through the gears. It's possible that Akhmadaliev might start quickly. Like I say, he's a southpaw. He might get stuck into INOUE early on. I've got a feeling that, well, he should be jabbing, but I've got a feeling he's going to be firing heavy artillery from early on. INOUE might take a round or two to have a look. Maybe in the third or fourth round start going through the gears. As I say, it is possible that he might get caught. It would not entirely surprise me if Akhmadaliev put INOUE on the floor, but I've got to be honest, it would surprise me if he kept him there. Anyone who can bang hard, anyone who's highly aggressive, it's almost like for every plus there's going to be a minus. The more aggressive you are, if you've got heavy hands, the more cavalier you are, you're increasing your chance of winning, and I think that's the way Akhmadaliev has to fight. I don't think he can outbox INOUE. I don't think his footwork's as good. I don't actually think he hits as hard as INOUE. But INOUE's power comes from an awful lot of precision and also knowing what punches to punch to use next. He has that sort of excellent elite IQ where he knows which tools to take out of the box at what time. If you watch his fights, and he punches beautifully with combinations. Akhmadaliev is more raw. If I said he was a bit more of a caveman, that might be a little bit insulting because he's not without skill himself. But he's a bit more predictable. INOUE is more clinical, straighter punches, threads them well through the defensive fighters, bangs beautifully to the body. Akhmadaliev himself, not a bad body puncher, but INOUE, when he hits you to the body, you know about it. If he can avoid an early explosion, a possible early explosion, INOUE, I see him chopping down Akhmadaliev in about 8 rounds, going through the gears, putting it on Akhmadaliev. Akhmadaliev will be game to the end. He'll hang tough. He'll fire his own punches. He might have his successes, win a few rounds. But I think if it's stopped in the 8th, you'll probably see, like maybe INOUE being 4-3 or 5-2 up at the time. But when INOUE goes through the gears and really starts letting the leather go in that clinical, highly textbook way. I mean, there's everything he does. If you had a child who wanted a box, you would say, well, let's look at INOUE. He's one of those guys, like Usyk, or Bivol. You would look at that sort of beauty, almost like the poetry of what they do, which is they thread everything together perfectly. It's all stitched together. There's no punches are wasted. Everything has a reason behind it. I think that is where INOUE will excel over Akhmadaliev. All right, and I do think he will eventually grind him down and stop him in about 8 rounds. So that's my opinion. I don't know what yours is. Maybe you think Akhmadaliev is the guy to upset INOUE. If he did upset him, I wouldn't be entirely surprised. He is a live underdog. But I do make this, I would call it, you know, a 65-35 in favour of INOUE, maybe 70-30 in favour of INOUE. I wouldn't write Akhmadaliev off. But let me know your opinions. Let me know your opinions. Leave your comments below, of course. I will be reviewing previewing, I should say, the Canelo versus Bud fight. So look out for that. And thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button because it costs you nothing. It's free. It helps us out. And also subscribe. Lots of great videos for you. Lots of great videos. Anyway, all the way from Poland, Gdansk. Thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Bye for now.